UAP are airborne objects that, when encountered, cannot be immediately identified. With regard to the importance of transparency, the Department is fully committed to the principle of openness and accountability to the American people.
We're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh my gosh, dude.
U.S. Navy personnel recorded what appears to be triangles, some flashing. The video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert. You're the guys investigating it. I mean, who else is doing it?
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to UFO We Want to Know. This is July 27th, 2024, and I hope you're having a good evening. Before I begin the show, as I always do, and for those who are just joining me for the first time, I always have to say that this is dedicated to those who have been ridiculed, made fun of, and dragged through the media for the last 76 plus years. I think it's a real shame that not only our government, but governments around the world have perpetrated the big lie that there is nothing to see. In today's first segment, we're going to have 3 videos and 12 photos to show you. So let's get on with the first video. And as you can see, the arrow points the way. Now, if you've ever seen any of my videos, you'll say, well, I've seen this before. These are all new videos. I don't repeat unless I miss a UFO that's significant and I want it to be seen, and I'll bring it back and I'll let you know that this was brought back. As the very last video, we did that exact thing because of the fact that a very large UFO came in the corner of the screen, and you got to see it to believe it. This was a humongous UFO. This was taken on July 4th, 2024 at 1:12 p.m. Beautiful blue sky, very low clouds. That's the sun's ray right there, as you can see. But this UFO seemed to pulsate quite a bit. And if you just look at it, it's so unnatural. It's not a blinking light where if it was lights on a helicopter or an airplane, it would not do what this craft is doing. Now, we ended up not slowing this down, so you're seeing it as I saw it on the camera for the first time. But it was pulsating quite a bit. And as we go through the pictures, you'll understand what I mean by pulsating, because it gave out some brilliant colors. So after this one here, we'll go to the first photo. And there's where I circled it right there. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting a lot of the pictures out. I'm going right to the main shot of the UFO. And this UFO, it didn't take much to look at and see some definition and also surrounding plasma field. Now, for those first-time viewers, because I seem to be getting new viewers, I've had people tell me I've seen your videos for the first time. I do this quite a bit. And the reason why I do it is because it's important for you to understand that there was an object up there, and it wasn't an airplane or it wasn't a helicopter. And this is the end results right here. But take a look at the craft. It's got a dense center, and then it's got kind of a corona around it, and then a light blue around that, and then it's got the dark blue, which I think personally is a plasma field. Now, some of these craft utilize electromagnetic field, anti-gravity, plasma, but those are my understandings of what I've been analyzing. Let's go to the next video. Another probe. This was here over the station, and that probe, ladies and gentlemen, I believe may have seen me videotaping because it seemed to just stick around. It didn't move, but from my position, I was a clear view for it. And then it started going in the trajectory it was moving towards the tower itself. Now this UFO seemed to give off a very fine film. It could be that when it was coming in, it uses electromagnetic fields to even slow down. I know there's gravity amplifiers in these craft. Plenty of people, whistleblowers, have said that they utilize gravity amplifiers, and the gravity amplifiers point their way to which way they're going. So if they're going to go right, they point the usually three in the craft, gravity amplifiers to the right, and that's the way they go. That's why some say that the saucers belly up, and then they go in that direction towards the belly is the focal point. So whether or not that's true or not, they all seem to say the same thing. After this, we'll go to the first pictures. But this is interesting. We slowed it down 90%, by the way, 90% of slow motion. So that gives you an idea how fast this craft was going. And again, for those of you who are seeing my videos for the first time, they're all over the skies. And I've said that many times. As you can see, he's got a very high shimmer. And as I do the end results here, you can see there's two layers there. There's a solid base inside. You got the darker blue, and then you got the shadow blue on the outside. This is an indicator that this craft is protected. And there's no aerodynamics needed here because there's no sharp points. As you can see, it was going from top left to bottom right, and you would think there would be some kind of a cone there. There's not. They don't touch our atmosphere. So when these craft come down, they come down with a different type of technology that we simply don't understand. And I've said this before, for the first time watchers, I'm not a scientist. I was an analyst for 25 years, but not a scientist. Even though I was around scientists, I know the way they think. After this, let's go to the next video. This particular craft here, we slowed down by just 50%, but you can see him climbing. This craft was climbing extremely fast. Now, if we played it on its regular motion without slow motion, you wouldn't have seen him. And the reason why I know that is because I went back on my computer and I played it without using slow motion, and it was just a speck, and then it was gone. So it lasted a split second when it was traversing our atmosphere. And I say that because scientists still say that there's nothing in our atmosphere. And I say this all the time on my show, and for those of you who are probably tired of hearing it, it benefits the new watchers of the show, new listeners of the show. And I say this because I truly believe that this isn't a bug flying in front of my screen. Look how far away this is. That's a tower out there, and some trees a little closer where the arrow's at, but that's a tower out there. And this thing is rocketing upwards, okay? If you had a craft, terrestrial craft, you would hear that. Make no mistake about it, because they would be turning on their afterburners to climb like this one's climbing, because he was going in the Mach range. You can bet that because of the fact that if you zero in on these craft, they leave entrails, which means that the speed of the camera can't keep up with the trajectory, the backwash of the craft itself in the trajectory it is going. So if it's making a fast maneuver, you're going to see what looks like 3 or 4 UFOs in the same photo, but it's not. It can't keep up with the shutter of the camera can't keep with the speed of the craft. After this, we'll go ahead and go to the first photo. But take a look at that for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is a UFO, an unidentified flying object. The other acronyms they use, the government uses, I don't use that because they're UFOs. As you can see, I point this. This is to benefit my technical director here. 26 seconds. That's where we stop motioned it, and that's where I was able to zero in for him to be able to go backwards and find it when it first took off or when it first appeared on the screen. And this is when I do a stop motion from the video. I try to get it where it's most sharpest and darkest. And if it's light, the most light I can get out of it. If it's shimmering, I try to stop it where it's most brightest. In this case here, being a dark object, I try to get it where it's solid, a solid dark matter. And then when I do this, I use a ×40 magnifier, and I follow it on the screen in order to get it to its best optics, so I can make stop motion blow-ups of it. And this is what was traversing our atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen. As the scientists always say, there's nothing there yet. But like the other ones, you see the light on both sides of it? That's the electromagnetic field that's pulsating around this craft. Many whistleblowers have said that these craft are giving off an electromagnetic field when they're starting to take off. And it's like lightning all around the craft. But I believe that the electromagnetic charge flares up like lightning rods, and then you got that clear area around the craft, which tells me that the electromagnetic charge is at an extremely high voltage. But take a look at this, the shape of it. It never changed from the very first photo. It's a solid mass. But for those of you who are seeing it for the first time, let me know what you think at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com. And please give me a like if you like what you're seeing. Nobody shows as many UFOs as I do. We'll be back after this message.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with us. I hope you're enjoying the video. On this segment, we got 3 videos and 17 photos to show you. So let's go ahead and get on with the first video. As you see, the arrow points the way. This UFO here that you're seeing is slowed down by 90%. And the reason why, it was just too quick. This UFO pulsated a great deal all the way down. As you can see, it seems like it's blinking. It's not blinking. Now, when I use my ×40 magnifiers, you can actually see it pulsate. And I have a tool that I use, and essentially I can zero in at 1600 times 1600, and I can actually see the pixels on the video being separated. So I get a very good idea of what I'm seeing. And this craft was pulsating all the way down to, on the bottom of that, that's the tower here where I tape my shows. And that tower is, I believe, 400 feet in the air, 400 feet. So this one was coming down quite fast towards the tower. And I get a lot of them here. Every time I videotape, I go out before I leave here, I videotape at least 5 videos of the surrounding areas, and I try to get the tower because they seem to be, I don't know, zeroed in on that particular tower. It does stand out. It may be the highest tower in all of Pahrump. After this, we'll go on to the first photo. And this craft was, like I said, pulsating. It was shaped almost like a square block. And when we go through the photos, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you know, aerospace engineers will tell you, you can fly a brick if you're going fast enough. If you got a very powerful engine, you can fly anything. And there was one time an F-15 in Israel, they landed with just one wing on an F-15. That just shows you the power of that craft. The F-15, its thrusting was so powerful that it was able to land with just one wing, which is, to me, incredible. And this gives you a pretty good idea of what I'm saying. It looks like a brick. Zooming in on it, it gave off a plasma field all the way around it. And this here is the end results of that UFO would look like. Again, looks like a brick flying through the air. But this was pulsating. And that's why you probably see some density in the middle, and then you got that light all the way around it. When I stop motioned it, most likely I got it when it was just starting to pulsate. But sometimes it's very hard because it's going so fast, and I can't slow it down like we can do here in the studio. The studio does an awful lot for me here when they slow down my videos, or they maybe if the UFO is doing a really sharp maneuver, we're able to capture that. I can do it with my fingers, slowing down the video at home on my phone, but it takes a lot out of me. My eyesight ain't the best. Let's go to the next video. And as you can see, this one here was flying towards up to the sun, and it was remarkably fast. We slowed it down by 95%. Now that's the maximum I'll go. We tried 100% one time, and it drove the screen crazy. So 95 is about the best we do here when we slow something down. But this here was so fast that when I first captured it at 0 seconds, I was still in the 0 seconds when it left the screen. So that's how fast it was flying. That happens to be the sun. And this was taken on July 1st, 2024 at 4:53 p.m. So this was not at night. That is the sun. Sometimes I'll turn things into day and night. We'll go ahead and go to the first photo after this. Look at that thing just move. And you're going to see some detail on this craft here. I got some 8 pictures that I want to show you of what this craft looked like. Now what I did was I went from black and white to color. So I'm going to show you both versions. As you can see, this craft was not shaped like anything aerodynamically. It had a lot of different sections to it. Or at least it looks like it has a lot of sections to it. And here we are in color. And I did that for a reason, and because I've had people tell me, well, you know, when you change the background, don't you distort the craft itself? And I tell them, I says, well, that's why sometimes I'll do them in black and white, sometimes I'll do them in color. Whatever I can get the best resolution for the viewer to see, that's what I go with. And this gives you an indication here. So what I did was I stopped, did the stop motion at the largest I was able to do, and then I went from color to black and white. Okay, and then what I did was I put them side by side so you can see them. So you can see that I didn't change the craft itself. There it is right there. You just get a different viewpoint of it. But at the same time, it is the same craft, and one is in black and white, and one is in color. And the colorization doesn't take away from the black and white. Now remember, I went from daytime to negative, or black and white. And I don't think that there is a real issue here unless you want to be picky, which I know that debunkers and skeptics will run wild with it. But nonetheless, I do this for a reason, and that is to give you a viewpoint, at least by my viewing, what I think a good picture should be in order to give you the best understanding of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to show here. I'm showing you UFOs every week, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the same videos that you see over and over on the internet. I'm showing you brand new UFOs traversing the our atmosphere. And these were all taken in the months of June and July. I'm behind, and that's the reason why I'm still doing Junes. And this one here was taken in the month of, taken month of July 1st, 2024 at 4:53 p.m. So let's go on to the next video. Again, as you can see, you've seen this this picture before. You can see the UFO coming in from the left side of the view there. This particular UFO, we slowed it down 90% because it was moving. It was setting off a lot of electromagnetic charge. Lately here in Pahrump, like in Las Vegas and other surrounding communities, it's been triple digits. Out here it's been very hot. But I don't believe it affects these craft in any way, shape, or form, because when I'm out there videotaping, I have to wear a light coat over me. It's not an actual coat, but it's like a blanket with a white side on it to kind of shield off the heat. It gets so hot out there that my tripod, even though I've got foam around it, it's hard to handle. And just out there for say 4 or 5 minutes videotaping, my equipment gets extremely hot out there. And it has nothing to do with these craft here, but I believe these craft, if they can go into our volcanoes and they can fly by the sun, I don't think heat is an issue for these craft. Some people claim, and we're talking about whistleblowers, that craft retrieval vehicles were like a metal. But I believe that these craft are grown. They're not put together in any way, shape, or form, because we never find seams. We never find anything that would indicate that they had to mesh them together. I believe that these are biological, and when they're formed, that's when they put all the inner working parts inside the craft. But I really don't believe that these are actually metals that we can produce on this planet. So therefore, you've got extraterrestrial craft, and if they are grown, boy, the first one to get that technology would actually rule the skies. After this, we'll go to the first photo. But take a look at this. It's just so interesting to see these craft traverse our atmosphere. I stop motioned at 1 minute, as you can see there. And I went to the color version again, and the reason why I did this is because there was some brilliance in that craft as it was coming down. It showed a lot of, I guess you would say, chugging motion, like it was strutting. I believe that the camera speed cannot keep up with this craft as fast as it was going. I believe that these craft are giving off this electromagnetic charge, plasma charge, anti-gravity. I'm sure that all of them, whichever one they're using, they may be using all of them for all we know. I believe that these craft are so far advanced from anything that we can actually perceive. And if we have cracked the code and we understand what these craft are made of and how they fly so fast, that's going to be an interesting thing to see in the future. I certainly won't see it here, and probably you won't see it here in the future. With the way they hide things, I believe that technology is not in the foreseeable future. But I would love to know how they put these craft together. And if they are craft that are grown, which I believe they are, and you haven't heard too many people say that, but that's my belief. And if I'm onto something, who knows? Maybe I'm not the only one that thinks that way. But I've listened to a lot of scientists, and a lot of them say that these are biological. So I think that's the same thing. What do you think? Let me know at UFO@gmail.com. And I appreciate you staying with us for the next segment.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with us. We got 2 videos and 8 photos to show you on this segment here. And I want to continue in saying that when I believe that these craft are biological, that's my opinion. I've had many people ask me, well, how can you say that if there's no proof? Well, that's what science is. It's just science until there's fact. And since we're not being included in what's going on as far as the crash retrievals, I can guess. And if the scientists or the government agencies get upset the fact that I'm guessing, will excuse me for my First Amendment rights. Okay. As I said, we got 2 videos, 8 photos to show you on this one here. So let's get on with the first video. And there we go, another one in the sky. Now you notice I get a lot of these white dots. And here's a really interesting point. If any of you have seen Skinwalker Ranch, and I'm enjoying that particular show myself, they just saw one of these in just a few videos back, and they went absolutely crazy on the show. They couldn't believe what they had seen. They seen something exactly like this fly over Skinwalker Ranch. And you should see the reaction that they all got. They thought they saw, an airplane crashing. Their faces were in awe. I don't hope for an airplane crash, but their faces told it all. You can go back and look at those videos. But they were looking at what you're looking at now, and they had their mouths open for a few minutes, and I was looking at it, and I was saying, well, why are they in awe? I get these all the time. Don't they get these at Skinwalker Ranch? It's because they don't look for them. I dare say that if I was ever in Skinwalker Ranch and I spent just one day there, I bet you I can get a whole bunch of these craft flying over Skinwalker Ranch. But nobody's going to invite me anywhere. I do my own thing, and wherever I go, whether it be Central America to close to South America, I get these UFOs all over the place. I got just hundreds and hundreds of them all over that area, whether it be Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Mexico. They're everywhere. After this, we'll go to the first photo. This particular craft here, by the way, we didn't slow it down. And the reason why we didn't slow it down is because at first I thought maybe it was a probe. Because there's my house right there. That's the tip of my garage. And I always, that's one of my focal points. I always videotape right over that point right there. You've seen that part of my roof so many times in these videos. It's so uncanny that I can take the same position and I get UFOs flying over it. And I don't take 100 UFO videos. I take 3 or 5 videos, and that's it. And out of the 3 or 5 videos I take, I'll get at least 1 or 2 UFOs in those videos. That's a pretty good ratio, if you ask me. But you can see where it was at adjacent to where my house is. And I've said this before, I think that might be a flight path for UFOs. Most of the time, they're heading from east to west, and they go in kind of a angled trajectory. They always seem to be coming, if they're coming from the east, they seem to be heading down, going west. If they're coming from the west, they seem to be coming down from the west, up from the west, down to the east. It's like an X. And I find it most interesting because how can I take a 10-second video, and that's what these are, in slow motion. I take a 10-second video, which gives me approximately 53 seconds of video, and I get UFOs in there. Now, if you take them in super slow motion, it gives you 17 seconds, but at the 17-second mark, you're only taking about 3 to 4 seconds of video. So you have to be very lucky to get the UFO within that time frame. And that's why I've gone from super slow motion to slow motion. I get a lot more UFOs. And this one here had a kind of odd shape to it, looked like a pair of glasses. And as we get in closer to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can see it here, but as I get in closer here, it seems to have a plasma field around it, protecting it. And then it's got that kind of orange base all around it. Which I think is interesting because this isn't the only UFO that has done that. I get many UFOs that give off this kind of electromagnetism. Take a look at the outer part of the plasma field out there. Above and below it mostly, you got it on the edges. But this craft, you saw it moving, and I'm not exactly sure if this particular craft was slowing down and utilizing all this electromagnetic charge, because remember, the more charge you see, it seems to be giving it like an indicator that it's slowing down or speeding up. This was not slowed down, but it seemed to be, I'm not going to say trying to figure out where its trajectory is. It just seemed to be rather slow for a craft that was going in a steady direction. There could very well have been two craft flying side by side. That's a good possibility because as you can see here, it looks like there might be two craft here. When I followed it down, it never separated. It stayed close. So maybe one is behind the other from the front to the back. But on the one on the left, it kind of gives you that iconic UFO shape. The one on the right, you've seen that on my show hundreds of times, that same shape. It's kind of like a teardrop. But the leading edge is never the sharp point. It's always the round point. And these craft do some incredible things out there, and we don't know why. Let's go to the next video. And again, you got another one here. Again, for you first timers, I never show the same video unless there's a UFO that I didn't capture in the video that has to be seen. And on this particular one here, it was just sitting there and pulsating. Sitting and pulsating. This is taken on June 28th, 2024 at 1:08 p.m. And we didn't have to do anything to it as far as slowing it down because it never went anywhere. It just stood there blinking. Now, perhaps it was watching me because this is right over my house. Now, I had to blow that. You can probably see on the very, very bottom of the screen, you can probably see a little bit of a part of the roof there. And we'll show you a little bit more of it when we go to the first photo. But this craft seemed to be just there, and it didn't do much. And I've said this before: is it aware of my being there videotaping it, because I in my garage area, I have a very, very large driveway. You can actually make a U-turn in it. I made a U-turn with my truck and trailer on my property in the front yard. So it's a very large driveway, and I'm out there in the middle of it. So I'm sure this craft, if it was viewing me, I'm sure that it saw me videotaping. And who knows, maybe it just stopped for a quick hello. There's a little bit better view of the tip of my garage or my house. That was taken at 1 second. That's why I did the stop motion. And this gives you an idea of what the craft looked like. Now again, as I've said before, I'm not showing you, I'm not teasing you with a lot of pictures. I'm going right to the craft itself because I want you to pay attention to the focal point here, and that is that this was a craft, a solid craft that was traversing our atmosphere, in which scientists keep saying that there's no proof that it is traversing our atmosphere. These craft are a lot of times on this side of the clouds. They're not on the outside of the clouds, which would indicate far, far away. The cloud covers sometimes could be as low as 1,000 feet. And I get craft that fly on this side of the clouds, which means what? That these craft are flying within 1,000 feet of Earth. So unless there's a different math that the scientists use, they have to show it to me, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Next week I'll be talking about new releases from NASA. I get all of their newsletters and I read a lot of them, and they're doing great things. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to bash NASA 24/7. They do some very credible work, but when it comes to UFO, they get an F. And I don't adhere to anybody putting PhDs in charge of looking for UFOs and trying to analyze them. It doesn't make sense to me, because that's not what they went to school for. This is the final look of this particular UFO, and I want to make it real clear to you that they don't touch our atmosphere, so they don't need aerodynamics. For those of you who are watching the show for the first time, these craft give off electromagnetic charge. I believe they have at least 3 amplifiers, gravity amplifiers within the craft, which guides them through our atmosphere. And they're surrounded by either a plasma field or electromagnetic field. That is my firm belief on it. And if I'm wrong, scientists can contact me here at UFO@gmail.com, or contact me on my own personal channel, Prompt Alien Guy. The Prompt Alien Guy, my comments are always open. If you want to contact me, I'll answer all the questions you have. If there's a number you want me to call, I'll be more than happy to. If you want to view any of my hard data, I'm open to all that. I hope you stay with me for the last segment, because I'm going to show you something that's going to knock your socks off.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with us for the last segment here. We have 2 videos and 18 photos to show you, so I want to start off with a video real quick here. And I want to let you know that I had left the camcorder on for quite a while when I was videotaping this particular one here, and I left it on for 5 minutes, and believe it or not, I got 4 UFOs in this one video, but it was very, very long. And what I did was I picked and chose a couple of UFOs out of it, and I'm going to show you a series of those. So let's watch this one here. It's just pulsating. it seemed to just sit there and pulsate. Now these UFOs were not all going in the same direction. This one here was heading actually east. I had one coming from the north, and the rest of them were coming from the west. And I got this one here first because it was pulsating a lot, and it just seemed to be stationary. Now, we didn't slow this one down at all, even though it was taken in slow motion, but nonetheless, this craft seemed to give off a lot of electromagnetic charge, just pulsating up there. We'll show this one more time, and then we'll go to the first photo, and I'm going to show you two different sets of UFOs. But this is the first stop motions are going to be this particular UFO here. Didn't do much, but it was there. Okay, so here is where it was at. You can see the flagpole, and I wanted to let the audience know, no, that's not a shredded up American flag. I put 5 windsocks on my pole because out in the Pahrump area we have very harsh, hot weather, and it dries up these flags so much that they get shredded up. I find that the windsocks last 10 times as long, and they still carry the brilliance even after you would think that they would be ready to be replaced. They're that much better. I have too much respect for the American flag to see it chewed up. And this is the indicator what you were seeing out there. Close up of it, another close up view, and then the final one shows a little colorization. Now I did do background of this particular craft. The reason why is because sometimes you get a better view of it. Taken on June 24th at 12:52 p.m. This one was taken at 7 seconds, and as you can see, this UFO, as we go through it, it was not the same UFO. It was a different UFO, and you'll be able to see that the shape, kind of a triangular shape, isn't it? Again, these craft here, they don't seem to have any kind of aerodynamics needed. They just fly like you can fly a brick. If you have a powerful engine, whatever you're using, I'm sure they don't even have the concept of an engine, power source of some type. I believe you can fly anything. Now what I did was on this one here, that was the end results there, and I wanted to show you that this craft here was giving off a lot of plasma. This is the last of that particular UFO. So let's go to the last video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the better UFOs I've ever caught, and as you can see, we had to actually slow this one down quite a bit. We slowed it down 95%, which is the most we slow down anything. This craft was coming in really fast, and as you can see, it was coming in like it was going sideways. You remember I told you in the first segment that when these craft point their anti-gravity units towards where they want to go, that's what this craft is doing. This is a flying saucer, a typical flying saucer. Now, if you're familiar with Pahrump, this is behind the Pahrump Nugget, the bowling center there. And I wasn't bowling, I just went out and climbed the hills behind the center, and I started videotaping out there. It's too bad I wasn't more centered, but this isn't staged like you hear a lot of critics who say, well, it's kind of convenient that he zeroed in on this right in the middle of the screen. This is not in the middle of the screen. I just cut the edge of this craft, and as it was coming down wherever it was going, And I would have to go back out there to take a look at this same view to see where this craft was heading. I am looking at east from my direction. So wherever this craft came from, it was coming down. This is no helicopter, and it certainly isn't an airplane. But this is something that I think scientists would be most interested in taking and analyzing with better equipment than I have. They can always get in touch with me at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com, or on the internet, YouTube. Contact me at Prompt Alien Guy. That's YouTube, Prompt Alien Guy. And you can talk to me all you want. I'll let you have the raw footage. Take a look. You tell me what you think this is. This is a UFO over Prompt, Nevada. And let me know what you think this is. I would like to hear from you. I have regular viewers, Meredith, Richard, Brian. These people contact me and encourage me to keep going, and I appreciate it. And I hope that they're watching this particular video because I dedicate this UFO to them. And like I said, if you think you know what this is, in your own opinion, please write to me at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com. This show is for you. It's for the taxpayers of America. I try to speak for them. I feel that getting our money's worth, the Pentagon uses billions and billions of our hard taxpayers' dollars, and I think that we should be able to know what we're seeing in the sky here. We're not going to panic. We're not going to go crazy. This isn't War of the Worlds. This isn't a radio show where people are going to start jumping out of windows. I think we've grown a lot, and the communities around the world have been saturated with UFO sightings quite a bit. But if you look at this one here, ladies and gentlemen, this is a UFO, a flying saucer, and it's coming down. So the gravity amplifiers are pointing down as it's coming down. Not exactly straight down, but at an angle, but nonetheless, it's coming down. And I find this extremely interesting. As I said, this is one of the better UFO videos that I've taken. Unfortunately, I was not pointing the camera a little bit more southerly, and I would have caught it dead center, but this is the best I could get. And I'm going to be showing you the stop motions. I've got 6 actual stop motions, and to let you know that this craft was giving off a lot of electromagnetic energy. You can see a little bit of light there. The sun was to the upper left of it, but I don't believe that was the sun shining off it, because in some areas it's dark. And I believe that what the light part is giving off the electromagnetic charge. So let's go ahead and go to the first photo after this one. And I'll go through these kind of slow here, and that's where I stop motioned it. The typical UFO. Now, if you take a look at the very first photo, you can see the electromagnetic charge on the bottom of it especially. Remember what I've said in past videos, and I'll say it again for the new viewers. On the bottom of the craft, when the craft seems to be coming to maybe getting ready to stop or slow down, they seem to force that electromagnetic field on the bottom of the craft. I've noticed that on many of the UFOs that I've taken. A little bit closer up of it, you can see what I'm talking about. It starts to give off some kind of electromagnetic field on the very top right of it as it's coming in, and it seems to give you a different view of it. Now, what I did here was I changed the optics of my software, and what I did, I wanted to give you an understanding of how much electromagnetic field it was giving off. This craft was probably pretty large because you saw it in the video. It looked like it was maybe 5 miles away from me. I looked at the buildings to my right where the actual nugget is, and the bowling center. And then on the mountains to the left of it, and as this craft was coming down, I could kind of gauge how far away this craft is. If you're familiar with the area, as I said, you'd understand what I'm talking about. I just don't throw numbers out there, but I believe this craft was no more than 5 miles out. It could have been a lot closer, I'm not sure. A little bit of a closer to it, you can see I changed the background to a little purplish haze, trying to get maybe some definition of the craft itself. And here I'm getting a little red color on the bottom there. That doesn't mean nothing. By changing the background, you're going to get different colors in it. But you can still see here, no mistake about it, that's an electromagnetic field around this craft. Take a look at it. And when I showed you the first photo, you can see, remember I was telling you that you can see the electromagnetic field on the bottom of it? You couldn't see the top of it, but the bottom of it was showing. This is the last view of it. Now, it may not be as sharp and good as I want it to be, but what I did was I wanted to show you an outline of it, and I think I did that. You can see the red outline all the way around it. But this was a craft coming down. You saw it for yourself. If you would like to get in touch with me at UFO, we want to know at gmail.com, please do so, and let me know what you think this was. You can also contact me, as I said again, on YouTube, Prompt Alien Guy, and please give me a like up. That helps me out. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe to this channel to get notification on next videos. I'll be putting out some shorts pretty soon. I want to thank you for watching the show, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know and remember, yes, they are out there.